Audition. Planet Earth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. TeenStar, online and international.
Hey, what's up everyone? It's Frankie Cena here and welcome to episode 7 of TeenStar. We are looking for the best singers from around the world and we are getting closer and closer to the next round. We have 24 singers ready to impress, but before we can hear them, we have to meet our judges. He is A&R for Sony, Thames TV, and Future Music, Grayston. A&R at Polydor Records Universal, Haynes. And owner and vocal coach at Vocal Ovation, Julie Miles. So those are our judges. Here's how things work. Each of our singers will perform and they'll get some feedback from the judges. If they're priority acts, they're gonna get a little more feedback. And at the end of the episode, the judges are gonna pick their favorites to move on. Now, if your favorite is not chosen, you can vote for them to make it to the next round. So make sure you vote for your favorite singers. First up, we have Aiden.
And I can't take it back, I can't unpack the baggage you left. What am I now? What am I now? What if I'm someone you don't want around? I'm falling again, I'm falling again, I'm falling. What if I'm down? What if I'm out? What if I'm someone you don't talk about? I'm falling again, I'm falling again, I'm falling. You said you'd care, miss me too, and I'm well aware I write too many songs about you.
Next up, we have 12-year-old Aisha. Give it up for Alex May. Our next performer is Olivia.
Figures, I gave you right to die, you gave me gifts. Love figures, oh, I know I'm crying, cause you just won't change. Love figures, I give it all, you gave me shit. Love do exactly what you did. Wish I could hurt you back. What you do if you couldn't give me back? You're the one who's gonna lose something so special, something so real. Tell me, boy, how in the hell would you feel you couldn't give me back?
And our final performer of this set is Amelia Stevens.
I can do it. I can do it. I'll get through it. But I'm only human. And I'll bleed when I fall down. I'm only human. And I'll crash and I'll break down. Your words in my head, nerves in my heart. You build me up and then I fall apart. 'Cause I'm only human. I'm only human. I'm only human. Just a little human.
What a way to kick off week 7. Thank you, contestants. Let's hear what the judges have to say, starting with Chris.
Yeah, super start from the acts today. That was good. Some good commitment there. Always want to see that passion in the performance. That was good. Just for Aisha, just need to practice a little bit more with the piano. Very difficult to sing and play at the same time, but really pleased with that start and again, set the bar for everybody else.
Yes, I was really impressed with this start. A lot of good energy, I think I felt like I noticed, particularly from Alex and Amelia, you know, great energy performance-wise. Only thing I'd probably say is just try to manage the delivery of that, because sometimes it can kind of overpower, you know, the emotion that you're trying to convey. But great start from everyone.
Yeah, so great to be back. I had a couple of weeks off, which was lovely. But yeah, we're at week 7 and we've literally seen hundreds of singers now. What I've been really impressed about so far is we haven't been seeing loads of repetition in song choice. We've been seeing some real mixed bag, which has actually been bringing back a lot of memories for me. So really loving some of the song choices. I think one thing I would like to say at this stage is, because we're now at week 7, the smart auditionees will have been watching the other auditions and start getting really, really clever with their staging. I think we just have to be careful with some of the camera angles, a bit of the energy and so on, but just loving how well these kids are doing.
Thank you, Julie, and thank you, judges. Singers, if you are watching, keep watching, and if you're not watching, start watching. Our next performer is April Lee.
I'm in the kitchen, 20 to midnight. I just got home and I hear my phone. No, I see it on the piano ringing. I see your name, my slide left to speak. Then 5 minutes later, I'm in my car and I'm on my way over. You have been drinking, or you would have called her. You never need me whenever you're sober. No, why'd I stay to entertain your same old ways? 'Cause I just listen and I just trust you. 'Cause you're too wasted and I'm too sober. No way, get out. I'm screaming to myself right now. 'Cause you say nice things and I just trust you. And you're too wasted and I'm too sober.
Let's keep it going with Ben Bartlett.
No, 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 no. I am thinking of you in my sleepless solitude tonight. If it's wrong to love you, then my heart just won't let me be right. 'Cause I'm drowned in you, and I won't pull through without you by my side. I'd give my all to have just one more night with you. I'd risk my life to feel your body next to mine. 'Cause I can't go on living in a memory of our song. I give my all for your...
Our next performer is Cassidy Rothwell.
Lately I'm getting lost on you. You got me doing things I never thought I'd do. You never spent so much on a losing battle. But lately giving up don't seem to matter. Every day I'm a slave to the heartache, and you waste it away every night. I don't wanna leave you lonely, but I've run out of love this time. I know that I adore you, and I couldn't give enough. Hope you'll be safe in the arms of another, 'cause I can't take the weight of your love.
And our final singer of this set is Katie.
It's okay in the day, I'm staying busy. Tied up enough so I don't have to wonder where it is. I got so sick of crying, so just lately, where I catch myself, I do 180. I stay up late hours, at least I'm not drinking. Round, so I don't have to think about thinking. That silent sense of content that everyone gets just disappears as soon as the sun sets. He's facing my dreams, seizing my dust. He floods me with dread.
Thank you. Singers, let's hear what the judges think, starting with Leon.
Yeah, again, I mean, it's really what I'm liking about this session is that there's a lot of energy I'm seeing from most of the performers. It's quite positive. I'll probably start with Cassidy and say, like, I like your engaged kind of perspective in terms of the audience. You seem very focused and, you know, locked in on us. I guess all I can say is just keep up the good work and keep with the development, to be honest. You've got something good there. And Katie, I like your vocal tones. I get what you're trying to do. I don't feel like you're quite there yet. I think you've a bit more work and development to kind of pull off that style of singing, and you'd probably be onto something.
Yeah, another 4 really strong singers there. One thing I wrote down immediately was eyes. So for the first 2, which I know aren't our priority acts, but I think it's important I give this feedback, to just remember that when you're doing an audition like this, the camera is so close and it sees every single thing. So if you're not actually focusing on us or changing your view, it's going to be very, very noticeable. So really try and open up when you're doing these kind of auditions. Our priority acts, Cassidy, yeah, definitely a lot of effort went into that performance. I do feel that it was a little bit too thought out. I would like a little bit more of that natural vibe to come in, that natural performance. It seemed very deliberately placed, but there's definite potential there. Katie, well, I immediately looked up because I'm sure you get this all the time. You sound like Amy Winehouse. I'm not sure whether that's intentional, but I think, you know, that is great, but it's probably going to hold you back a little bit because you're always going to be compared to her. But you know, that tone, I always talk about tone, but it is that just beautiful, edgy tone. I thought your vibe, your whole image was really, really good. There's definitely something there, but I would like you to just try and channel a little bit of Amy, but without probably being constantly compared to her. Sorry.
I think in general we just need to watch the recording quality for some in that group. In particular, April's a little bit of quiet, so just listen back to it and you know just tweak it where you can. I like Ben's framing. I thought it's always good to put your name there, especially if you want people to check you out. Why not? In terms of priority acts, Cassidy, you know, I think Carrie said it really well last week. Had a bit of depth, had a bit more sort of light and shade to it. And I guess the way I would say it is, don't just necessarily focus on the pain and anguish in the song. Focus on the, you know, the optimism, because it can be just a subtle line or a phrasing. Just latch on it so it just breaks up from that maybe pain and anguish that you're trying to convey, which is, you know, you're doing well with that, but just break it up with a little bit of optimism and, you know, hope maybe. Just find it somewhere in those lyrics. In terms of Katie, exactly what Julie said. I had Amy Winehouse in my mind. Just be careful to be you as well. We had Amy, and you know that's great if you want to go out there and be a tribute act. But we want you to be unique. I would say it'd be nice to maybe commit a bit more to the performance and just watch the light. It was a little bit dark with the framing, although I love the lights and guitar theme. So lots to work on there, Katie, but just commit a little bit more and really convey that emotion. And I think you can go places.
Thank you, judges. Great feedback for those 4 singers. And next up, we have Christy.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Oh, fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars.
Next up, we have 14-year-old Ellie Clark.
These 4 lonely walls have changed the way I feel. The way I feel. I'm standing still. Nothing else matters now, you're not here. So where are you? I've been calling you. I'm missing you. Where else can I go? Where else can I go? Chasing you. Chasing you. Memories turn to dust. Please don't bury us. I got you.
Here is Emma Price.
I came like a wrecking ball. I've never hit so hard in love. All I wanted was to break your walls. And all you ever did was wreck me. I came in like a wrecking ball. Yeah, I just closed my eyes and swung. Left me crashing in the blazing fall. All you ever did was wreck me. Yeah, you wrecked me. I never meant to start a war. I just wanted you to let me in. Instead of using force, I guess I should have let you in. I never meant to start a war. I just wanted you to let me in.
Our next performer is 19 years old, Iona.
The world was on fire, no one could save me but you. Strange what desire make foolish people do. I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you. And I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you.
Our final performer of this set is Gaia.
I got no excuses for all of these goodbyes. Call me when it's over, 'cause I'm dying inside. Wake me when the shakes are gone and the cold sweats disappeared. Call me when it's over and my cells reappear. I don't know why I do it every time it's lonely. I'm lonely. Sometimes I just wanna cave and I don't wanna fight. I try just hold me. I'm lonely.
Okay, let's see what our judges thought, starting with Julie.
So I thought vocally we had some of the strongest performances there. Really impressed with just some beautiful, some really great dynamics from Iona, singing one of my favourite songs. Loved Chrissy. Lovely smile at the start, that actually really cheered me up. We really saw everything, huge voices. I have to say I was most disappointed though by the staging. I know we keep talking about this staging, but at the moment we're living in an online world, and you know there's so many opportunities to actually see how to get the best out of your video, and from just some absolutely amazing voices and amazing versions of songs, I just wanted to see more in terms of that overall performance, but some really strong vocals there for me.
Oh, I think to reiterate that point as well, we've seen it from the previous shows as well. The presentation completely turns you on to the performance from Word Dot. It gives that first impression, and you know, but for spending a few hours ahead of doing your performance and having a few takes at it, you could really give that first impression, because we did have some super vocals there and let a little bit down by some thought and some planning going into the framing. Just a couple of things for me. I think Ellie, I would have just liked you to see more commitment to what you're doing. I just felt that you needed to give a bit more oomph to that performance. It felt you were a little bit behind it all the time, and I was trying to think, was it sustaining the notes? But I just wanted you to attack it a bit more, and it felt a little bit luster. And Iona, loved the song choice there as well. And lastly, just would have liked to see a bit more eye contact as well. As soon as you did give us that eye contact, we felt so much more connected. So just a few pointers there in general, I think.
Yeah, I guess at this stage, for me personally, I feel like everyone's at a good level of ability and skill. And I guess for the artist, the key takeaway is this is the moment where you need to find that unique thing that's going to set you apart from everyone else, basically, because you're all kind of like at a good level. So there has to be that extra thing, that extra spark that we're going to say, actually, there's something about you. I guess in particular, with Ellie, as Chris said, I think, just a bit more passion and oomph behind the performance. Emma, I can hear that you've got a lot of power in your voice, but sometimes power also needs to be reined in, just a bit of control, just to kind of deliver it with, a bit of, control in that sense. Overall, great. But again, just let's keep working on that USP, the unique point.
Thank you, Leon. Thank you, judges. Next up, we have Georgina Sweet.
If I were a boy, even just for care for me. If I were a boy, I think I could understand.
Here is Emmy C.
I never knew his name, but I imagined what he looked like, imagined how he'd smile, a hug tight, a kiss, good night, the way a father holds his child. I never knew his name, but I imagined him a hero, a bright and shining knight, and Daddy's eyes would stop my cries.
Next up, we have Leia.
Some people live for the fortune. Some people live just for the fame. Some people live for the power, yeah. Some people live just to play the game. Some people think that a physical things define what's within, and I've been.
Fourth performer of this set is Maggie.
I'm not crying 'cause you left me on my own. I'm not crying 'cause you left me with no warning. I'm just crying 'cause I can't escape what could have been. Are you there when you set me free? All I can do is let my heart bleed. Oh, it's hard when you can't see through their thoughts. Not that I wanna get in, but I wanna see how your mind works. And oh, it's hard when they don't know what they've done. Thinking it's better they leave, meaning that I'll have to move on.
One singer left in this set, and that is Ryan.
Now I'm all alone again, nowhere to go, no one to turn to. Without a home, without a friend, without a face to say hello to. And now the night is near, and I can make believe he's here. Sometimes I walk alone at night, and everybody else is sleeping. I think of him and that I'm happy with the company I'm keeping. The city goes to bed, and I can live inside my head. On my own, pretending he's beside me.
Thank you to those 5 singers. Let's hear from Chris.
I think Georgina, our priority hatch, Georgina really drew me in with her expression from the start. I quite like the fact that the camera moved in closely, that kind of gave us a good connection. But I felt it almost felt like in a bit too low a gear, and I wanted a bit more passion from the start. And, you know, that was the thing that could have really backed up that good first impression we had. So I think maybe just, you know, committing a bit more from the start would have been good. I think from Rianne. I thought it was good eye contact. You know, I would also say perform from the start as well. It's a very passionate song, and you really need to commit to that. You know, you're spilling your heart out, or your love, or whatever it is. And I felt you could have just committed a bit more. Don't be afraid to use whatever you need to. You know, your hands and all your different you know, expressions in your face to convey that. So a little bit more commitment, but both had lovely tones, and you know, just picking up on these things can hopefully make them just that little bit better going forward.
Yeah, in terms of our priority acts, same with Georgina. I had to double take for a second when I saw that, because I just wasn't expecting this kind of motion from the camera, so that was good thinking, and it did draw my attention in at the start. I really liked your tone as well. I just feel like it was a bit of a slow build up to get there, and you maybe got to think a bit more about the audience and actually the fact that it's an audition. It just means trying to get to those key points a bit quicker, because time's not necessarily always on your side. And with Rianne, I mean, for me, it was like, it reminded me of kind of a theatrical type of performance or a song in that sense. And what I would probably advise you to do, just think about in the future, is maybe, you know, in terms of how you're presenting that, you know, in terms of if that's your goal to get into musical theatre, then you need to be thinking, as well as the vocal, about your body language, the presentation, the scenery, and what you're actually trying to convey in terms of the message.
First priority act, Georgina. I think that's just a really, really difficult song choice to really shine. It's very, very low at the start, and then it goes super high. And it's a slow burner. If you're not quite getting in at that lower tone, it's very, very difficult from there on in. Also, I was hearing just a little bit of a strange, some strange vowel sounds, which was affecting some of the diction. So definitely pay attention to that, Georgina. But like the others, really like the attention to the kind of whole setup. Rianne, yeah, so definitely musical theatre. Just remember, with musical theatre, it's all about the lyrics, it's all about the storytelling. And with that, you have to bring in some light and shade dynamics into the storytelling. I think a little bit of work on that tone. The tone, although was very strong, it kind of stayed on a level for quite a while. So definitely work on those dynamics so that you can really start telling your musical theatre story. Overall, again, just a few disappointments in terms of camera angles and so on that I really don't think we're seeing the best of some of these singers, although we are hearing some really great voices.
Thank you, Julie. Just 5 singers left for audition show 7, and we're gonna kick it off with Sakvi.
Baby, when you get home, yeah, I'm about to give you all my money and all of my skin in return, honey, to give me my prompers when you get home, yeah, baby, when you get home, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Your kisses sweeter than honey. Guess what? So is my money. And all I want you to do for me, get to me, yeah.
Our next performer is Sophia.
Get ready for me, love, cause I'm a comer. I simply got no Mars, bring her to drummer. Don't bring around a clown to rain on my parade. I'm gonna live and live now. Get what I want, I know how. One rule for the whole shebang. One throw, that bell will go clang. Eye on the target and wham. One shot, one gunshot and bam! Hey, Mr.
Third up is Tegan Skye.
I found a love for me, darling, just dive right in and follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. We were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in my eyes you're holding.
2 more to go. This is Tilly Rose.
All along it was a fever, a cold sweat, hard-headed believer. I threw my hands in the air and said, show me something. He said, if you dare, come a little closer. Round and around and around and around we go. Oh, now tell me now, tell me now, tell me now, you know. Not really sure how to feel about it. Something in the way you move.
Our last performer of this episode, sticking with the floral theme, it's Tulip.
Share my life, take me for what I am, 'cause I never change all my colors for you. Take my love, I never ask for too much, just all that you are and everything that you do. And I don't really need to look very much further. I don't wanna have to go where you don't follow. I will hold it back again, this passion inside. I can't run from myself, and there's nowhere to hide. But don't make me close no more door. I don't wanna hurt anymore. Stay.
There we have it, our 24 singers from Audition Show 7 judges. One more round of feedback, starting with Leon.
Yeah, great. Great start to another season, another round of amazing acts. You know, I just want to say everyone well done to getting this far, to be honest. I'll start with our priority act, Tulip. I could see that you really thought about, you know, your settings, scenery, you know, presentation and image. You coordinated well with the background. You had a lovely voice. The only flaw I could probably find within that overall performance was just maybe the acoustics. I'm assuming you was in quite a cavernous space, so you know there was really nowhere for the sound to kind of bounce off of, and it gave a bit of an echoey effect. I guess just further down the line, that's something to consider, you know, just how, you know, you're going to be sounding on the camera. But otherwise, another act that stuck out to me was also Sakvi as well. I love the energy that you had, so great work.
Yeah, I'm actually going to start with Sakvi, because even though she's not a priority act, she really, really made me smile. And I actually wrote down, there's a saying that you see everywhere, sing like no one's watching or sing like no one's listening. She just absolutely loves to sing, and it was just a joy to watch. So keep doing what you do, and that was absolutely brilliant. Another who stood out for me, even though she's not priority, is actually one of our youngest contestants today, and that was Tilly Rose. I just think there's something about her. She's just got something so natural, and I think with some development, and if she keeps doing stuff like this, I think she's going to be incredible. Tulip, brave song choice. As soon as I heard that intro, I thought, oh my goodness. But actually, she really did handle that quite well. I agree with Leon. It would have been nice because, you know, I did feel like this was going to be a really special performance. I would have liked it to have just looked a little bit more special in terms of her setting and also her image. From a technical point of view, Tulip, just be careful because you did have a tendency to fall off the end of notes at the end of phrases each time, which was kind of putting it on a bit of a downward spiral. But apart from that, I actually think huge potential in Tulip as well.
I think this show has proved to be a real solid show vocally. I think everybody has done a great job, and I think that's probably one of the best shows we've had in terms of vocally. In terms of reiterating in general, I think in terms of framing though, on the whole it's been a little bit poor, and I think we're going to go back to, if you want to progress, I mean obviously to further rounds, we've really got to work on our framing for those that go through. The other thing I'd like to see as well is some of the older ones, and we had a predominantly older show this one, is like, I want to see a bit more creativity now. You know, if you're upward of 15, 16, and a couple of you being 19, you know, let's have some originality, make it your own, and I think that could be maybe given to Tulip as one of a critique really, is that try and make it your own a little bit. I also thought that was a very long intro, and maybe to help that out a little bit, you could have maybe introduced yourself while that music was playing to start with. It was a long while to see before it got going, and I would have liked to see you commit a bit more to it. And I think, as Julie said, you kind of tailed off a little bit with the phrasing, and rather than maybe like sort of committing a little bit more to it. But lots of potential. Like to see that you give it some thought with your framing and your excuse from the general comment on the framing. But on the whole, you know, some great show there and some great vocal potential. Let's just tidy up on the presentation to give us that first impression we want to see.
Thank you, Chris. 24 acts, but just 5 judges' choices. Let's find out who the judges will choose. Here we go, 5 judges' choices. Leon, who are the first 2 moving on?
Yeah, I mean, great work to everybody. It's always a difficult choice, difficult selection. It wasn't easy to come by, but I guess the first one that's going to stick out for me, Aisha, really good, well done. And also Sakvi.
Well, as I said, vocally, great show. Let's watch the framing, everyone, those that are going through. And in this particular case, we want to see more eye contact and get your framing right. But for me, it was Gaia.
Julie, who gets
Yay, I get 2. I'm so happy. So the 2 that I've actually picked, I adore your voices. I adore your song choices. You have now got to promise us that you really engage with the audience and that you just sort your camera work out. April Lee and Iona.
Thank you, Julie, and congratulations to those 5 singers. You're moving on to the next round. There were a lot of amazing singers in this episode, so if your favorite did not get chosen, please vote for them now. We have just 2 weeks left of auditions on TeenStar. Thank you.